I've been doing YouTube for about 15 years, and I was doing it wrong almost the entire time. At this point, my other channel where I teach software development has around 700,000 subscribers, and I'm here to genuinely say that that subscriber number really doesn't mean all that much when it comes to growing a business and turning views into money. Now, obviously, that's not the goal of everybody with a YouTube channel. Some people just want to post some fun content. But if you're trying to grow a YouTube channel to get customers for a product or coaching or courses or whatever it may be, I'm going to show you what I did wrong and how I fixed it, because I think I've massively improved the way I do YouTube over the last couple of years. So there's two big problems here. The first is that the subscriber count is purely just a vanity metric. People think, oh, this person really knows what they're doing, 700,000 subscribers. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the achievement. It doesn't translate to money because YouTube does not prioritize subscribers. They prioritize viewership. Other creators realize this, but people who don't do YouTube often don't even realize that the subscriber count means almost nothing. So I was in conversation with somebody who's been doing YouTube for a while. They are up to almost 2 million subscribers, have like 170 million views across their videos, and they just created a new channel. They're 5 videos in on this new channel, and they're to the point where they're thinking this new channel is going to perform better than the original channel. So when it comes to viewership every single month and how much people are engaging with the content, that new channel can perform better than an older channel with tons of videos very easily if things are done right from the beginning. So that's the first thing. The thing that truly matters is viewership. We want high click-through rates, high views, high watch time, and a strongly engaged community, people commenting on the videos, liking the videos, all of that. The second major thing is not utilizing the audience. From the beginning, you want to have a system that takes viewers and translates that into leads that you can then promote things to or upsell into more expensive programs. Basically, when I started, I was doing YouTube wrong because I just saw it as a way to post videos and collect as many views as possible. I saw mass viewership as the answer, but I failed to convert any of these people into actual customers. And that's important because just going off of ad revenue with YouTube is probably a terrible idea. So typically you're going to want to have some other stuff that you sell. So courses, coaching, consulting, products, whatever it may be. So I approached the channel as a way to get views and not as a way to build trust in my audience to then be able to sell something to them. So while tons of people loved my content and they trusted me with what I was delivering to them, there was no way to channel that trust into dollars. If you've ever watched videos and there are videos on like how to grow a YouTube channel and they give you some basic tips, the thing that everybody says is be consistent. And every time I hear this, I just roll my eyes because I'm like, can we just not keep repeating the same advice over and over and over again? Let's get something new here. But it's much deeper than just posting consistently. The problem is also inconsistencies with the content type or the way you're delivering this content and not just the frequency at which you post. Or even across videos having inconsistent messaging or inconsistent goals. So this applies for pretty much all YouTube channels and all businesses, but I did software development. Sometimes I would do software news, talking about some new product or whatever it might be. Sometimes I would do like talk show vibes where I just talk about my experiences, talking head videos kind of like these. Other times I would do tech tutorials. Other times I would do building out projects. And then other times I would do just concepts explaining things on a chalkboard. So all of these had similar goals of helping people become better at software development, but the complete vibe across all of these lessons was totally different. So someone might subscribe and then I post something new and it's not really the same vibe as what they subscribed for, so they don't continue to watch. And then I'm guessing at a deeper level with the algorithm, my content stops being recommended to them because they've stopped watching. Having a consistent posting schedule is just a bonus, but I think what's more important is having consistency across all of those things I mentioned, especially when it comes to your target audience. If you have bad targeting, you're going to have a hard time capturing the right people and having that channel be the go-to expert channel within that topic. Most people, when they want to fix this, they define their channel about what they want to talk about, and they don't think about the person watching. Start thinking about who's watching and what are they trying to accomplish, and that's going to help you frame your channel appropriately to solve those problems. So stop focusing on you and the creator and what topics you're going to talk about, and start thinking about if somebody watches your video, what are they going to get from it, and is it the type of person you want to attract for a potential sale? So you may get a lot of views, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are the type of people that are going to actually buy. Now, fortunately, if you create content that goes well for a certain type of audience and you continually do that, you will start to build a larger and larger pool of potential customers that fit your target audience and you can sell products to them. So here's a quick peek at some of my recent videos. First thing you'll notice is these don't get 700,000 views, so not very high conversion from subscriber to viewership. But you will notice that they all tend to have a similar target audience of like back-end engineering, web developers, maybe some variation of some lower level programming or AI. And if you're not a software developer, you get the idea. Basically, I try to keep it focused. Compared to what I used to do, I just posted on whatever programming language, whatever topic I wanted. So as a result, basically we have here 241 videos that are public. And if we take a look at my private or unlisted videos, we have 751 episodes in here. And the argument could be that those 700 videos I created could get me new customers, but it's diluting the channel, attracting the wrong audience, preventing the core correct audience from growing. Think about this in the extreme to understand the principle. If you target two completely different audiences, let's say I have one channel and I create content about business and I create content about fitness. I post a bunch of business videos, get some subscribers, and then I post a fitness video. Nobody from that business audience is going to watch that fitness video. So it just tells YouTube that a low percentage of the subscribers are actually interested in the content I'm posting and that they should not promote my content as much to my subscribers and to the audience beyond the subscribers. So this is why we want every single video to achieve a common goal. And sometimes it's better to just not create a video than to create an additional video which could get you more views that's not perfectly in line with what you're trying to achieve with the channel. That's why I deleted a bunch of content. I used to have stuff on music theory. I had some stuff where I was doing some games and some game development, Minecraft modding, those kinds of things. All very cool, but none of the viewers of that content are my target audience. They're not going to be buying anything I'm selling. And if they subscribe, they're not going to watch any of the content I'm actually trying to get people to watch, which tells the algorithm, content bad, do not promote to other people. So instead of thinking of subscribers as this number, we want to get as many as possible. Instead, we want to get subscribers where every single person in that subscriber list is the ideal customer and everybody's very similar. So if you post a video and that video matches the vibe and the content type of all of your previous videos, there's a high chance the person is going to click that video and watch through. That's why the very successful creators, all of their videos feel the same. You don't go to one and it's a totally different vibe than some other video. The next major thing is converting these views into customers. Now, usually it's not YouTube video, make a purchase. I'm imagining like a funnel here. Sometimes it is though. I will talk about new courses and I'll directly link to those courses and sometimes people will buy them. But usually it's more of a multi-step process. I have a video, it gets their attention, then they get a free lead magnet. That lead magnet will then be a way that they get into my newsletter and into my marketing. I'll promote something to them, they'll make a purchase, and then maybe I'll upsell them to something even more expensive. So it's a multi-step process. When I started the channel, I had no concept of these things, and most people creating channels aren't aware of all of the details of the things that go on behind the scenes. This has become such a big focus of mine. I've been building my own software for hosting content, building your own funnels, and building an audience online. Basically nurturing leads to convert those people into customers. So basically, I identified that I was lacking this big piece, and there are obviously various softwares out there that can help you build those things, but I didn't find anything that really was what I needed. So I was like, I'm just going to build it myself. If I had this software from the beginning, I would be much more successful. So that's Course Catalyst, and I'm going to be talking a lot about the process of building that and the decisions, basically the core beliefs I have that made me design the app a certain way. But it all comes down to very simple funnels. So a funnel is basically a way to get somebody from a viewer giving you their attention all the way down to ultimately making some purchase. The problem many people have is they have way too many lead magnets. They are scattered. They have multiple funnels, very complex funnels. They can't track the performance of the funnels. They don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. And basically, if you want a visual, they introduce so many ways for leads to leak out of this funnel and not become a customer. So the core belief with Course Catalyst is I want to simplify this process. All of these behind the scenes things that creators have to think about I want to automate and simplify as much of that as possible so you can focus on creating content and delivering your product, whether that's coaching or a course, and not have to stress so much about the lead magnets, the funnels, and the marketing. So over time, I have built a lot of stuff, a lot of YouTube videos, lots of lead magnets, lots of courses, coaching programs, and I'm migrating all of that to Course Catalyst for a simplified view of everything, but that's going to take some time. I still have products in various platforms, and I'm paying for like tons of different platforms that I'm ultimately not going to need once everything's migrated to Course Catalyst. So I say that because I'm going to be showing you some stuff from other platforms, but it will all ultimately be brought into Course Catalyst for a much simpler view of everything. But for now, let me show you some of my lead magnets. So this is basically how I get subscribers to my newsletter, which is where I do my selling, and I'll talk about why I think that's so wonderful. And it's split up by these different lead magnets. You can see I have a bunch of different ones, probably 15 different lead magnets. So if I have 15 different ways somebody can go from being a viewer to a lead, well, that's 15 different things I have to concern myself with when it comes to conversion rates, optimizations, and making sure everything is working properly. So one of the big mistakes when I tried to get into creating funnels and marketing is I created all of these different lead magnets when I really did not need so many complex things. It's actually probably more than 15. You can see this massive list here. All transparency here, you can see what any of this is or ask me any questions. So you can see I have some free courses, and when I say lead magnets, usually that's what I think of. Yeah, I could get somebody's information just through a paid thing, but typically it's going to be a free lead magnet, and then I'll do some filtering on the back end to upsell that person. And I'll probably do a dedicated video talking about some of these lead magnets, which ones work really well, which ones don't, and how I actually structure my funnel for evergreen sales. But I'm not going to get off topic right now. Let's just focus on this here. The biggest thing I wanted to call out, and this was a mistake that I made, is I fragmented my focus across too many lead magnets. And this was all because I would hear advice to basically create specialized lead magnets that have really high conversion rates. And this is actually contrary to what I would suggest for most people. Because if you're creating a YouTube video and you create some lead magnet for that YouTube video, and that YouTube video doesn't perform well, you just wasted all of that time on this lead magnet that's not going to do anything for you. It would be much better to create very few lead magnets that are extremely good, that you can optimize to get the best conversion rate, and promote that single lead magnet across many different videos. You'll see this a lot where you basically have a centerpiece lead magnet and you have a bunch of different content that points to that lead magnet. So now I just have to have one lead magnet and I can just mass produce videos on whatever I want. Every single video I produce turns into customers. And the counter argument to that is, well, the conversion rate's going to be worse because it's a general lead magnet. So let's look at an example. Backend Python notes. In the last 90 days, I've gotten 46 visitors. 25 actually ended up signing up. It's a 54% conversion rate. I would say that's pretty good. I mean, it's not the most amazing conversion rate ever for a landing page, but really, I'm happy with that. If somebody wants the backend Python notes, they're going to put in their information. That's what I ended up with. It's a specialized lead magnet for a very small subset of lessons that it makes sense to advertise that on. Compare that to some of these other things here, such as this here. This is my mind map. It's an overview for backend engineers showing what kind of topics they need to focus on. This has had almost 4,000 people visit, but only 1,400 signed up. It's a 36% conversion. Much lower conversion, but in total, way, way, way more subscribers. So this one had 25 and this one had 1,400. The only thing I care about is how many people I can get into my list that are going to buy something. This mind map is a super good lead magnet, and as I mentioned, I'll probably do dedicated videos talking about what makes a good lead magnet, but it introduces an overview of what people need to learn, and the solution to learning these things is you can scour the internet, finding a bunch of videos, or I'll provide the solution. You can buy my course, or you can work with me closely with one-on-one coaching, whatever it might be. So not only does the lead magnet get a way for me to get their contact information, it's pre-selling them on what I'm going to start promoting to them. So it's like the perfect lead magnet. Another one that is general is my Notion video notes. This I send from lots of different videos and has a 54% conversion. The reason this is a general lead magnet, but the conversion rate is so high, is because people watch the YouTube videos and the notes are related to the video. So they want to get the notes while they're watching the video. It's going to lead to a higher conversion rate. Compare that to the mind map. If you're watching the video dedicated to the mind map, yeah, but if it's just, extra, they might just skip out on it. So they visit the page and then they're like, I think I'll just pass for now. Now, some of these show 0 because they are being populated via the API, but you can see on here, a really popular one on here is my free all-in-one videos. So here's another one where I got 32 signups in one day. This one has been great for getting a lot of people, but it's very general and hard to promote to a sale. So we'll get into all the designs of a lead magnet, what makes a good one, what makes a bad one, because I have learned a lot in this journey as well when it comes to the actual funnel. Not just YouTube videos, but actually turning that audience into customers comes down to creating a really good lead magnet and a really good funnel, which I have funnels that I can share with you guys as well. But I'm not trying to overcomplicate this. What I want to do is I want to make marketing super simple. So I'm showing you what I did wrong. The thing I did wrong is I introduced 1,000 lead magnets, but I really only needed 1 or 2. Like I'd been good with just these 2 right here. So why did I create all of these other ones? It's because I'm stupid and I like to overcomplicate things. I mean, it sounds harsh, but honestly, it's true. So with Course Catalyst, I'm basically saying, hey, how do I create a product that would force earlier Caleb to do things right, not overcomplicating things, and accounting for the fact that, maybe they're coming from a background of marketing soup where they have 40 different funnels and lead magnets and platforms. How do we centralize all of that information and make it a very easy system to actually see the audience come in and be converted to customers without it being a super complex process? So I'll show you what that looks like here in some future episodes. But if you look at this and you're like, wow, look at all these lead magnets. That's so awesome. You're getting so many subscribers. No, you're thinking wrong. We want fewer lead magnets and simplified funnels. So start thinking of YouTube as basically an incubator to build trust and take people's attention. It's probably right now the best platform to get watch time and get people bought into your systems and your beliefs, which then makes it a lot easier to sell something to them. So we want to see YouTube as basically just a way to grab attention. Every video we create should be a way to build trust and get them interested in seeing more. That way they naturally feel led to signing up for your free lead magnets or watching more content. It's kind of like dating, which I'm an expert on. If you go to the first date, your goal is to capture their attention and make them want more of you. And then if they want more of you, all they have to do is fill out an application, book a call with their credit card information, and they're good to go. All right, I've been talking for a long time, but the main other big thing that I want you to understand is that when you're relying on a bunch of social platforms, such as YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever it may be, you are subject to their algorithms, and they are the ones that actually own the audience. Of all the possible platforms or way of selling and communicating, the one that doesn't force you to depend on the algorithm the most is email. In other words, the closest thing to owning your audience is having their email contact information and giving them content and selling to them through email. And you might be thinking, oh, I'm not a writer. Well, that's why with the proper setup, you don't have to be spamming all kinds of new content. You set up automated funnels, very simple, to nurture leads and get them to buy something or sign up for a call. And if you don't believe me, well, let me just share the numbers. 700,000 YouTube subscribers, typical video gets maybe 7,000 views. I mean, depending on how long it's up on YouTube. But when I first post it, sometimes videos will do less than that, maybe just 2,000 or 3,000 views. So we're talking about like 1% or less translation from the subscriber on YouTube to watching a video. Most of these subscribers probably don't even see that you've posted a new video. Whereas with email, we're looking at 40% or higher open rates for any emails you're sending to your clients. So not only are they deeper in the funnel, they know who you are, they've already watched some of your videos, they've already signed up for a free lead magnet, but they're also actually going to see what you send to them. 40% is an extremely high number. You could send it to like 20,000 people and get more than the exposure you'd get on YouTube. And getting literally thousands of newsletter subscribers is not that difficult with the proper system. So basically, somebody subscribes to your newsletter, you send them emails all in an automation, they open the emails, they consume the content, they start to trust you, then they want you to help them solve their problem, so they sign up for a call or they buy a product. Email is how I did 6 figures in course sales over the last 12 months. And when I had my software engineering mentorship program, a lot of my promotion was through email, which that program did similar numbers to my courses. I believe YouTube is one of the more stable social platforms, so I do recommend creating content on it. And I would definitely get people off of YouTube onto your own website or platform getting their email. So at risk of repeating myself, let me just show you how simple this is. I created one video here, Roadmap to Computer Science Mastery, Complete Introduction. I introduced a series that I was doing and mentioned that they could get the series for free by following the link in the description. It's gotten 10,000 views, and that is translated to 700 signups. It's a free product, but I will then take these 700 people and push them through a multi-day sequence that's all automated, and a percentage of those people will buy, and most of the other people will stay in the newsletter. So any sales or any new launches that I do in the future, they will be a potential customer. So with the really high open rates of email, I've basically captured these people for much longer, perhaps even the rest of their life. And it's really as simple as just putting the same content that I put on YouTube up here for free. There's nothing fancy to it, but it's a more organized platform where they can see everything and they're not getting spammed with YouTube ads. Plus, there are notes in here, so they get some supporting information as they go through the material. So real quick, let's take a look at the analytics for this video. This has received 10,000 views, and it's gained me 225 subscribers on YouTube. And what that means is I've had a much higher conversion getting people to sign up for a free product on Course Catalyst. And what that means is if I had this set up properly from the beginning, there's potential I could have hundreds of thousands, if not in the millions, of email subscribers. We've gained 700,000 YouTube subscribers. How many of those people would have joined this funnel and bought something from me without me having to do any additional work? So that's the system that I needed 10 years ago. That's what I'm helping creators and coaches do today. Whether the product you sell is a course, coaching, or any kind of consulting, you can follow this very similar pattern to turn attention on social platforms like YouTube into customers that buy. Many people start a YouTube channel and they just want to create some content, maybe grow their business, and they don't realize all the stuff behind the scenes. And that's really what has fueled my desire to build Course Catalyst, because many of the solutions out there are complex, they're inefficient, and they don't prioritize the correct things. So if you go to these other platforms, they actually suggest some of the things that have hurt me throughout my journey on YouTube, such as creating customized lead magnets and very complex funnels. Complexity is actually bad. We want to keep it simple so that we can actually improve the performance of our videos, our funnels, and ultimately our sales. So that's the backstory with my YouTube, a little bit of insight into my numbers and how I have things set up. I'm still always eager to grow and get better. And I would say, especially now, the way people create content is always changing. But now things are focusing on more short form content. You know, people's attention span is nothing. And also the adpocalypse, there's ads everywhere. The ads are longer, and product placements are out of control. Basically, we have videos that are created by users, but they're promoting products, and YouTube is pushing this as well. So if you talk about Python, then you could say, oh, you could also check out this Python book, and it'll pop up on the screen. So now everything is surrounded by these ads, and it's even worse if the creator gets sponsored, which is usually a thing when creators get big because that's where they can make more money. And short form content is being prioritized, things like YouTube Shorts, but I believe that is a terrible way to build trust with an audience. I use Shorts as a way to get exposure so people see me and then they can watch something a little bit in more depth. I'm going to continue to build my channel, improve my funnels, and ultimately increase my success over time. So not only is mastering my content a huge priority to me, but also building this all within Course Catalyst and building the ultimate platform for other creators and online coaches to do exactly what I'm doing. So I think I'm just scratching the surface of what is possible. And in the next year and beyond, I'm going to really push the boundaries of what's possible when it comes to building an online audience, getting their trust, and selling in an automated way, all through YouTube videos, automated funnels, and really good products. So if you want to follow along for that journey, as well as seeing some of the behind the scenes of the Course Catalyst platform, how I'm designing it, and some core beliefs that I'm infusing into the way I design the product, give this account a follow, and I'll have a link down below to a free course where you can learn how to set up your very first funnel. I'll explain exactly what the structure is for a very simple lead magnet and the start of a funnel that will sell for you on autopilot. So if that sounds of interest to you, I'll have a link down below so you can go through that course. And yes, that course is a lead magnet. You guys know how that works because I just talked about it. So if you want to join my funnel, there's the link.